Now to a collection that's about speed, beauty, history and preservation. If you've ever sat and watched a touring car race or had a poster of your favourite driver on the wall, this one's definitely for you.
Here at the Australian Grand Prix meeting at Warwick Farm, cars are on the grid for the Chesterfield Touring Car Challenge race. 10 laps to go.
When I was about 22, 23, I had built hot rods right up to there, and I managed to get hold of a Ford development car, the Phase 4 GTHO, and I found it was so good, and that sort of swapped me to touring cars. I just sort of took on this thing of looking after them because they were all just drifting away, sitting in paddocks and things like that. No one else was looking after them. No one else was assembling Australia's motoring history. And I thought I might end up with, say, between 10 and 12, you know, some number like that. That was as many as I could handle. And but then one thing led to another. I never thought I'd end up with about 80.
The car that Gagan's driving now is a fairly new gadget. It's not been raced by Gagan for very long. I think he's still trying to get its measure.
I suppose the Super Falcon is my favourite, and that, I suppose, would be because Pete Gagan was such a good mate of mine, and that car was at the peak of his career when he was at his very best, and it was a handful, and so I suppose I feel like I've owned it since 1970, so it's very close to my heart. When I found the Super Falcon, which Kingsley Hibbard had bought from Pete, I nearly cried, you know. It was such a mess, spent better than $100,000 on restoring the car, and it's a priceless car now. Buying Alan Moffat's Trans Am from him was a focal point. I bought that car in 1995, yeah, 18th of May. And it's a day I'll never forget. And it meant a lot to Moffat because he'd had it then for 25 odd years, and parting with the car, but he'd seen what we'd done with the Super Falcon, and he knew that's what the Trans Am needed. We were after a GT40. I went to the States and I wasn't happy about it, so this great one came up for sale at Silverstone. We bought the car, we finished on it at the auction, and then negotiated the next day. And we got the car and we flew it home on a 747 with us. That was a pretty good act.
1278 of the order, 1278.
I do get a huge degree of satisfaction in that I've saved some of the lives of some of the cars. I love them like grandkids, but I wouldn't be surprised that, say, on about 20 of them they would have been lost. Perhaps just ground into the racetrack or the roadway, or people wouldn't have known what they are, so we've probably saved a few lives there.
Whoa. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to have one of the GT40s one day.
Yeah, but will it beat my Ferrari?
Well, we can have fun finding out, can't we?
Sure can.
That was all about motorsport and the legends of motorsport, and so is this.
This is a perfect little piece of sporting memorabilia.
Yeah.
And thanks, Cam Wiley, for sending this in. But this was won by Stirling Moss, who was the Michael Schumacher of the 1950s.
If you're going to have a name on your trophy, Stirling Moss is a good one, but it's the tiniest racing trophy I've ever seen.
Yeah, but you've got to understand that this was won for a preliminary race, the Ardmore Handicap, in a day when people used to come out to New Zealand and race for several weeks.
OK, so this one's from New Zealand?
This is from the New Zealand Grand Prix series in 1956, yeah.
Oh, OK.
The other interesting thing about this, Andy, is that it's got another famous name on it, Porsche Spider.
Yeah, that's not too bad either.
No. So this is going to be collected by two types of collector, the sporting memorabilia types and the people who love Porsche cars.
Why was he driving the Spider?
He borrowed it from a friend just to go in this race. It was very casual in those days.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Lend Stirling, your Spider.
Lend us your Porsche, mate.
Yeah. And he did quite well. He won.
He won.
All right, so how much is it worth today?
If it was to go to auction, we reckon it might fetch around $2,000.
Well, well done, Cam. Remember, if you've got something special and you'd like to find out a bit more about it, take a picture of it and send it to us. Just go to abc.net.au/collectors and follow the show and tell links. And your treasured item could end up here on the show.